Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. I'm here with Sahr Ngaujah, one of the stars of Moulin Rouge on Broadway. You play Toulouse-Lautrec. Uh,
Yeah,
we were just saying I missed the show, but I can't imagine how you guys must miss doing the show.
yeah, we definitely miss it. I don't have to just speak for myself. We have a text chain that most of us are on. So every once in a while, somebody will chime in. And they're like, oh, like anniversary of this or that. A year ago today we were doing this, and it's like, oh, wow, or however many months ago was our last time on stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the show's been on Broadway for, I mean, now it's over a year since you guys opened.
Yeah, really. Time flies. Yeah, and also, I mean, the time since the shutdown, it's long, but it's also feels fast.
Yeah.
Like suddenly it's far in the distance.
Tell me about how you came to be in this production.
Yeah, well, my involvement, the genesis of that involvement was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I just I got a call from my agents. I mean, I don't know if Alex made the inquiry. I mean, maybe, they ask you to come in and read.
Yeah.
So, I did. And I don't know. I might have done that twice. Oh man, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely remember one of the auditions. No, I did it twice.
Yeah, I was going to say it must have been at least 3 years since the auditions for the show, maybe more.
Yeah. That was a while ago. That was a while ago, and it was really early. It was quite early in the process as well.
Yeah.
I think I've seen. I think Tveit is like. I think he's the third Aaron I've seen, as well as Karen and Ziegler. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a while back,
Yeah. What was it that interested you in this project?
Well, I mean, Baz Luhrmann's film, it had the kind of effect on me that people who love that show would describe. People who love that film, I mean, and I was really enjoying Baz. I guess I was what was that, the mid '90s, the early '90s. I was enjoying his stuff. Romeo and Juliet was like a revelation. I had to get the soundtrack. So when he followed up with Moulin Rouge, it was like, whoa, like he was really, I mean, look, back then MTV was still showing music videos.
Right.
So when Baz Luhrmann did that, I mean, there was Belly, this film, it was like New York, like kind of gangster kind of thing. But who did that one? Was it, I'm not going to mess up and forget.
Sure.
But I can't remember who did it. But anyway, Baz Luhrmann and the director of Belly, they were like the first two to really do like this music video style,
right,
of colorized, how they're coloring things and like just stylistically, really. Anyway, so I loved it, is the bottom line. And Toulouse-Lautrec, he's an icon. So the offer to play that, and also, I mean, I really loved Leguizamo's rendition,
right,
of Trek. So the idea of exploring a way to make that work on stage sounded like a very exciting challenge. I didn't have any idea of what Alex was going to be looking for per se. But yeah, so anyway, it became a very interesting process, and that's what I was really looking forward to.
Did you do research into the life and the work of Toulouse-Lautrec, or did you are you the kind of actor that just does what's in the show in the rehearsal room? Like, did you go outside of the rehearsal room and look up his life?
Yeah, with Lautrec, I most certainly did. I'm still digging into Lautrec's life and his work, I even kind of gave me a new way to even think about a lot of the artists that were his contemporaries or in his immediate orbit. In fact, in Montmartre at that time, because like digging into Lautrec's biography, you know, it outside of just making, you know, Paris, you know, right there at the turn of the century, more tangible, you know, and more, you know, I could smell it more, but it also just gave a different sense of what the world was of Vincent van Gogh, you know, or, you know, and some of the others who were just a little before, right at the same time, or after Lautrec. So yes, to answer your question, a lot of digging into Lautrec, which it continues to this day. As a matter of fact, even doing that, it helps me appreciate New York,
Yeah.
in the turn of the century, even more as well, you know, because it's like, okay, so when that was happening with Lautrec, this was going on in the States, or more specifically in New York City, because this is where I live for over a decade now, and just trying to wrap one's head around this town, which, you know, compared to Paris or London or Rome, you know, or Timbuktu, you know, it's not very old.
Right.
But it's 300 years old, you know, and like, you know, my building is 100 years old, and, you know, so it just kind of, yeah, I don't know. It just makes the world a little richer, you know? Yeah.
Is it, and I was talking yesterday with Robin Herder and Ricky Roas about this. Is this show as fun to perform as it looks? I mean, I know it must be so hard to do this show night after
night. Yeah.
Particularly for the dancers, but is it as fun as it looks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is fun. And, you know, look, yes, it's supposed to, I mean, it's supposed to feel like an amazing, you know, it's supposed to feel like the time of the best night of your life in Montmartre, you know? So yeah, that is what we're selling. And, you know, how does it go? Look, I've had a few injuries in my career, and coming on the other side of those injuries, one of the things that I try to do is think about where I want to be, think about how good I'm going to feel when I get there, and try to infuse that energy into my training process. You know, so I'm not training thinking like, oh, this sucks, you know, like, oh, this is, you know, it might hurt, but, you know, it's just like, yeah, you know, getting there, getting stronger. And they say that, you know, in your mind, that can take you someplace. So, you know, all of us are coming together to give everybody a good time, and we end up having a really great time doing it. You know, like despite how challenging it is, it's a lot of fun to do. And there's a lot, you know, there are a lot of shows we could be working just as hard on and not be having as much of a good time as we are on this one, you know. And that says a lot also about the people, at least from my perspective, the people that I'm working with. They're also a lot of fun to work with. You know, they make it a joy to come to work every day.
How does the level of difficulty of this show compare to, like, when you were doing Fela at the Hirschfeld, whatever, 9 years ago?
Yeah, Fela was a whole different kind of ball game for me. Yeah,
well, you were he.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was rolling the boulder up the hill every day, and you know that one also, you know, was very enjoyable to do. I mean, singing those tunes every night, you know, and just like living in that world. I mean, that was another one where it was just really a joy to like dive deep and explore the moment in time that was, and the energy and the vibe of the people. But man, it was a monster. I mean, it was a bloody monster, you know, and there were some days I would get up from a nap between shows and I would just think, you know, when soldiers do a tour of duty, you just keep on going, you know what I mean? And I did, you know, but my training process before the show is also designed to kind of put me in a place. So by the time I'm finished with my training process, it's all systems go, you know, and there aren't any more feelings about it. It's just like, let's go make the show amazing as if it's the first time and have a good time. You know?
Yeah. Was it nice to come back to the Hirschfeld after so many years? Like, did it feel like coming back home? Because I remember seeing Fela I saw it both times it was around, and God, I love that show.
Well, thank you. That was an awesome journey, and it was really lovely coming back to the Hirschfeld. The funny thing though, and you know what? I mean, some of the crew there. I mean, a lot of the crew, like a large percentage of the team there was there when we did Fela, you know, and some of them, they remind me of it, you know, like a lot, and it makes it warm. I mean, it's warm. It was warm to come there in the first place, and it feels. I'm saying that to say, like, it feels good every day.
Yeah. What are you guys? Tell me about, like, are you guys keeping in touch, like, the cast after all these months? There is a text chain you mentioned before.
Yeah. There's a text chain. It's been a bit more quiet in the last few months than it had been.
Yeah, I imagine it's hard at this point.
Yeah. And look, there are, I don't know, like what everybody is doing right now, but there are some clusters of people living in certain neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Who have more contact with each other just because they're close by. So I'm sure that's happening. But it's been as far as that text chain goes, it's been more quiet in the last few months. Now, during the height of COVID, it was very, very active. Like when we were discovering how deep the infection had penetrated into our ranks.
Yeah.
And then just coming on the other side of that, and encouraging each other, as we move through that process.
How is it the sort of thing where if they called you and said, okay, we're coming back in 2 weeks, could you like jump back into it, or do you need do you need to get back to training and rehearsal and all of that? Like, is it still in you, do you think?
I don't know if I could jump back into my pants. I gained a little bit of weight, man. Like I was sitting down for like the first couple of months. I didn't want to go outside. I mean, I had to, to get food and things like that. But also it was kind of chilly, so I wasn't really training. But no, I mean, I'm back in shape. As soon as the weather broke, I've been training. I haven't stopped. In fact, I just since July, I've just been kind of like, ramping up. Yeah. I live not far from Prospect Park, so I'm running that thing like about 6 times a week. I'm running and like just I've been using the outdoor gym out there and all that. But anyway, to answer your question more directly, if we had to start back in a week, I mean, the spirit would be willing, but we definitely would have to rehearse. I mean, if they say we're going to start rehearsals, yeah, come on, let's work. But obviously we all have to get back. The cohesion.
Right, of course.
Return. Yeah. So that part goes without saying. But yeah, I mean, yeah. I would.
What are you looking forward to?
Say what?
What are you most looking forward to when you guys eventually do come back?
I'm looking forward to seeing my colleagues. Looking forward to working with that group of people again. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm going to enjoy playing for the fans and all of that, and exchanging the energy, because wow, Moulin Rouge fans and also just people who aren't fans but just come to the show to have a good time. The way that they give it is it's awesome. It's really nice to play for the people who come to that show. I mean, it's so dazzling as well. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues again. Everybody's getting back in the trenches with them,
Sahr, thanks for your time.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
You too. I really appreciate it. And until we can see Moulin Rouge again, listen to the cast album. It's available everywhere you can find music.
Yeah. Give it a listen. We're there with you all in spirit.
Yeah. Be well. Take care.
Cheers. Peace.
Bye.
Wait.